all at your fingertips. You won't have to find the upsets. They'll find you. Order NCAA Mega March Madness exclusively on DirecTV.
All right, Wall Street Journal out with a poll, the Wall Street Journal NBC News poll that said the president has the support of the country in this economic crisis. I mean, the numbers were pretty good. Matthew Tuttle is with us to take a look at these polls. 60% of Americans approve of the job that the president is doing, Matthew. 68% have a positive opinion. 44% feel the country is on the wrong track. Wall Street Journal says they expected that number to be higher than that. As you see the ratings there, it's interesting because the economy is obviously in just brutal shape, but it looks like the public is giving this president time. He's extremely popular, and one of the reasons that he's been able to push through, you would say, some of these initiatives, including the budget, which many on the other side of the aisle have been opposed to. But you look at the polling, the opposition from the general public isn't there yet. What do you make of that?
Well, I think, people understand that he inherited this crisis. So they're going to give him some rope and they're going to give him some time. He sounds very confident. He looks very presidential. But the poll number that I look at every day is the stock market. And the stock market's telling me something completely different.
Well, it can be a forward-looking indicator. The president would argue that you shouldn't look at it on a day-to-day basis, and he's got to worry about the stability of the economic system in general. So how does he kind of manage those two, and should he be paying more attention than he says he's paying to the stock market day-to-day?
Well, I don't know that he should necessarily be paying that much attention to the stock market, except that, like you said, the stock market is a forward-looking mechanism. People are voting not based on today, they're voting based on what they think the future is. So they've certainly got to pay some attention to that.
So does that tell you that these poll numbers, if the economy doesn't pick up, I wonder how much time they'll give him? In other words, it seems like people I talk to at least, are more worked up about this budget than anything else. In other words, they're willing to give him time on the bailouts and say, well, we've got to try some of the banking system and housing. But this budget, even some Democrats now, Evan Bayh and others have come out and said, well, let's be careful about how much money we're spending here.
Yeah, I mean, the budget, given the circumstances we're in, just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I think you're definitely seeing a lot of pushback on that. I think people will give him some time on the stimulus and the economy. But yeah, I agree with, like you said, the budget is going to be a big issue.
Yeah, who knows? One of our viewers, I just was asking this question on Twitter, and Mike, who watches us in D.C., says, I don't doubt that the poll numbers are high. Much of what is complained about is not in real people's lives just yet. He says it's just old guys talking on TV. We're not that old, though, so that's fine. Yeah, so I don't know what Mike's talking about. Let's get back over to Ashley in London. No commentary on you either, Ashley.
No. Well, thank you very much, Con. I didn't take it that way. Let's take a look at the markets, though. We are still higher in Europe, and certainly after the first 2 days of this week, we'll take it, although we are losing a little bit of our steam. Let's take a look at the latest numbers for you. The FTSE 100 been up as much as 2.5%, just backing off a little bit, still up, though, by 66 points. Meanwhile, the CAC 40 Paris also doing very well, up 2%, and as you can see, the DAX index up over 100 points, or nearly 3%. Now, we are following a developing situation. A spokesperson for Ukraine's natural gas company, Naftogaz, says that masked men armed have tried to take over the company's headquarters building. Now, this is this particular gas company, Naftogaz, was the series, or the focus, that is, of a series of disputes with Russia over payment for Russian gas. And if you remember, that led to gas supplies being cut off to many parts of Europe for 2 weeks before it was eventually resolved. That's all we know at this moment. Armed men entering the company's headquarters building of Naftogaz in the Ukraine. No other details available right now, but we'll continue to follow that story as well. Guys, back to you.
Good enough, Ashley. Thanks for that. Quick piece of breaking news before we take a break. The retailer Big Lots has just reported its earnings. Looks like it beat by 7 cents, $1. This number just crossing from continuing operations, and the expectation was 93 cents. All right, more on the big news of the day on the earnings front, plus Americans, well, trying to keep them in their homes with these new details emerging about the president's foreclosure prevention plan.
A lot going on today. Let's take a look at futures, though, because we are we should say, positive territory. S&P 500 at 703. So at least we're moving, again, past that 700 mark. We'll be right back with more Fox Business Morning.
Tonight, mortgage relief or taxpayer grief. The president's housing plan has some crying foul. So what's so outrageous about Obama's latest proposal? Neil follows your money and gets answers. He's the first and last name in business, Cavuto.
Introducing Zurich Hell Point. It's a new way of looking at